Yo, yo. How are we? Oh, and there he is. Look at that timing. Brad coming in, people coming in. Tweeting it out. How are we, everyone? Just tweeting out that we are live. Let's talk about the season. All right. Brad is in the waiting room. Why can't I post this? All right. There you go. He's walking. All right. And then let me pull the chat up on my phone. How we doing? That was crazy. That was quite the blowout, more or less. How are we? Lots of comments. Everyone's in here. Let me hide him for a second. Let's look at that. We're hiding Brad for the time being. Until he's ready. All right. All right, what's up, people? Blazers in 7. Might have to change the name. Save it for next year, actually. Next season will be the 50th anniversary of our last title. Let's do this thing. I'm down, Justin. I believe.
Live?
Yeah, we're live. But I got you hidden for the moment. Don't worry.
Oh, nice.
The people can't see the crazy stuff you're doing behind the camera.
I'm doing wild shit. One second. Okay, let me pull up. I don't have anything up yet. Let me pull up the comments and everything.
All right, I'll reveal you. Brad is revealed to the people. We are back. Brad, say hi to the people.
Did you hear that? Did you hear my absolute miserable groan? Did I just get on?
You're just on. They might have heard the groan. They might have cut the tail end of the groan.
God, dude. I'm so sad. Every single season, it's never like... I've never ended a season in anger. I just end it in like, my favorite thing is now done for 5 months. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah,
like,
over.
You hear nonstop, like, oh, the NBA season is too long. I'm going to be the first one to come out this take. It is not long enough. We need to extend the NBA season to a year. It's hoops, dude. Make it year round. I don't like having to... We have to wait till October. It's like, hey, Brad, I don't know, top 5 most meaningful thing. It goes like family, friends, Blazers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're being perfectly honest, like I count the Blazers as my family and friends. Yeah.
It's all just lumped into one.
One second. I'm pulling up the comments and everything.
Comments, stats, get everyone situated, hunker in so we can break down. I mean, I'm down to talk more about a series, the series as a whole, this team as a whole, looking forward. That game itself was it was really tough. It was the perfect storm against us in that second half, basically just to carry over, the first half, just to carry over from that absolute travesty of a second half of Game 4. It was looking at a point where, like, if you took the second half of Game 4 and the first half of Game 5 and you made them one game, it was looking like they had a chance of making it the worst loss in NBA history. Because it was a 30.
But what do? We responded well. You know what I mean?
Fighting.
Like,
we kept fighting. City Sissoko.
This was I texted you this at halftime. I was like, this is the most they're better than us game I have ever watched. Like, did we play a perfect game for the first half? Of course not. We were missing threes, but like, I liked our fight. I liked our effort. What I was watching was like a clear disparity in teams. And big shout out. I mean, I'm not here to say anything nice about a team we just lost to.
Yeah.
But, dude, that was the first game of this series. This might seem like a backhanded compliment. That was the first game of the series I thought, oh, they could win a title.
Yeah, I mean, I started to think that in the second half of last game, I would say. I thought we were just blowing it. Yeah, I know we tripped ourselves into that, but and I've kind of thought I've thought that they have a chance to win the title for a little while now. I mean, let's not. I was gonna go to their page. They have been absolutely dominating everybody for like the past 30 games. This
The
is no,
Blazers?
no, definitely not us. We squeaked out some awesome wins and had a very fun time the last 30 games. I'll
Yeah.
say that. But I mean, what are the Spurs? Let's see here. I'm getting into some of these comments too. Can you help me out with that? But the Spurs have just been absolutely dogging everyone. Like they are
Yeah.
a incredibly good team through and through, and we saw that. And I'm glad we won a game. I know it was when Wemby was out, but I'm honestly proud of what we did. I mean, since what February 1st, they are 30-4,
Yeah.
winning by.
Well, I'll say this, dude. I mean, what was our goal going into this playoffs? It was I wanted to watch this and not think we were embarrassing.
No.
I wanted us not to embarrass ourselves. I wanted more than anything, I wanted to leave being like, I'm happy we made the playoffs and didn't get the pick. And I can personally say this is my main takeaway from the series. I'm glad we made the playoffs. Not even because like we were super competitive, which we were. We were even today we like in the fourth quarter there was a small threat.
Right.
We did not give up completely. There was a moment where we cut it to 9 and I thought, okay, we've got a fighter's chance. I really believed that something could happen. We gave it our best shot. But more than anything, it was proof of why making the playoffs is always a better idea if you have a chance, if you have a young team. If you have like an old team that is like on its last legs, maybe it's time to throw in the towel. But we're one of the younger teams in NBA, first time in the playoffs. And what did we get? We saw not just some fun competitive basketball, but we saw very clear things that we need to work on. That's why it's important to make the playoffs. Not because it's a chance to win a title, but it's the most obvious example of what the team individually and as a whole, the coaching staff, what we need to improve on, what we got to work on. And you can go from each player and it's blatantly obvious what they need to improve on. You don't get that in the regular season.
No.
You just don't.
We didn't play
and that's why it's important for the growth of the team.
One time in the regular season. And in order to win a championship or go far in the West, we are going to have to play against Wemby. As we can see, it's going to be against the Thunder. It's going to be against the Spurs and Wemby. You need to figure out what we can do against a team firing all cylinders with a team with an X factor like that. And I'm very glad we got to play the Spurs. I think it was a lot better and a lot bigger of a data point to see than if we had played the Thunder. So I'm very glad it worked out the way it did. We had one win. We won a playoff game. No one would have thought we did that. Everyone who was even arguing for the draft pick was just saying we were going to get swept no matter what. It was not going to be worth it. That's not the case. I know we saw our flaws. I think 3-point shooting, probably the biggest one of all, and we've known that the whole season. I'm kind of glad that's the way we went out in a weird way. I'm kind of glad it was because we clanked a lot of threes, so it's a stark reminder that we need to get better at shooting. And it starts with everyone on the roster, and it starts with Cronin.
And more than anything, dude, it gave us, I mean, is this not a series that you're happy happened? Like that win that we had, this sounds pathetic that winning one game in a playoff series is something that we'll like remember. Yeah. But it was. That was a great moment for a team that hasn't had a lot of them over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And if this was a series that I left thinking like, man, we are one, so far away from competing, or two, we got no answers over what these guys need to work on. I'd be like, I wish we got a pick. But to me, it felt like the exact opposite of both those, where it's like, we're competitive in basically every single game. Varying amounts of competitive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, tonight was not exactly, like, intense competition. We mostly got absolutely whooped.
Yeah.
But most of the series was fun. It was a clear learning experience, which was something that we talked about. The only reason we were even at any point slightly hesitant towards us getting a pick, or sorry, not making the playoffs to get a pick instead of making the playoffs, was because we were unsure if this was if it was going to be enough of a learning experience. And I think it absolutely was. I think a year from now, when we, hopefully make some moves over the offseason, we see Donovan improve, we see Tumani improve, we see Dame coming back. You cannot tell me that these young guys, especially, are not going to be happy they played in this series going forward. Yeah. Donovan has the most clear thing to work on this summer. So does Tumani. It's going to be something it advances us forward. It doesn't feel like it right now, but 3 years from now, or next year, whenever it is that we're really, really competitive, it's going to be an easier time when we're in the playoffs because of this experience. I have
For
no
sure.
doubt about
For
that.
sure. I totally agree with that. We got Justin already donated. Justin the man been here, I think every stream. He says $5, which thank you so much, Justin.
Unbelievable.
Great season for the Zers. Spurs have had supreme lottery luck. That's very true. Good experience for our squad, even though we got our ass kicked. Now back to the lab. Yeah, I think like it's tough because you look at a team like the Spurs, and I mean, the weird thing is just like how ready they already are, despite being also so young and inexperienced. Like it's this combination of, like you said, lottery luck to where yes, they got probably the next GOAT. If he's not already the current best player in the league, he will be very soon. They have Dylan Harper, a number 2 pick, who's one of the best point guard prospects, and then Stephon Castle is just an absolute two-way beast. So like they lucked into incredible lottery luck. Stephon Castle's the only one you can blame and be like, oh, everyone else messed up by letting them get him. The other two, like, that's just who they were gonna get. But you just look at it and it's like you kind of put your hands up and shrug. It's like the Blazers tanked at the exact same time as them in basically the exact same ways, and those picks just landed in their laps. Like, I have no doubt that if we could have they picked higher than us every single time, substantially higher in the case of the Dylan Harper pick. There's just not a whole lot you can do when you're in this situation. I think for like the way that those 3 drafts have gone for us compared to how those 3 drafts went for them, it's pretty impressive that we're even like in this situation in a playoff series against them. It's been incredible for them.
Good to me, and I think you and a lot of people are going to probably disagree with this, but I'm anti-tanking. Not just
Yeah.
on like a competitive standpoint. I legitimately don't think it works unless you're getting either Wembanyama, I don't know why I said that weird, Wembanyama
Wembanyama.
or LeBron James.
Yeah.
And luckily for the Spurs, they got Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I don't like guess his name. I'm so sorry.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama. And because, as I was saying, this is proof to me that taking doesn't really work because we're in the same, like you said, the same exact position that the Spurs were in. Did we have a worse record than the Spurs when they got Wembanyama?
No, they had the worst record, but I think we were 4th or 5th. I'll go pull it up to compare. Also, by the way, Brad, your people are tipping. Spartacus tipped $10, and Asher's back and tipping another $2.
Asher,
Asher's coming back. He's just poking you with the dollar donation.
That's crazy. That is insane. Again, I'm paying you back for that. Dude, Spartacus, you know who Spartacus is?
Yeah,
that's my boss.
Yeah. the PDX school.
No, it's my
PDX
friend. I'll say it's my friend.
my friend.
Friend over boss. So this is, in some ways, I just got a raise for being a really good
PDX
podcaster.
Public
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Appreciate all the comments. Brad, let's get to some of these comments. The people are
absolutely. Let's do it.
Clamoring. Justin at the top was saying, I think Thiago should have kept his hockey-style rotations going with a deep bench. Chaos and speed were our only chance. We just can't cut it in the half court when the game slows down. I think I agree, and I think it works for a time. That's why you're seeing, I think, the huge, stark differences in how we play, because we're a team that really can feed off of misses we can capitalize on those well, which is why you saw us go up 15 and 17 points in games 3 and 4. But then you're seeing when the Spurs make their shots, it's over for us. We cannot get back in the half court. So what happened was in those first halves of the other games, they were bricking their shots. We were taking advantage. We were playing well. In those second halves, in the first half of this game, they hit everything, and it's just over. And I know it's a big oversimplification of that is like, oh, yeah, when they make their shots, we, obviously we lose. Yeah, that's straight up. But, we really were a team that's built off of terror and missed shots. And I think we tried to do that to an extent, Justin. But I think at a certain point, we had to try to find stuff that worked in the half court, and that's maybe what Thiago went with. But That's why he pulled
Really
Matisse.
quick, shout out to the Spurs fan in the chat who just hopped in. He's Spurs fans here, nothing but respect for Rip City and its fans. See y'all next year, another playoff series. You too, dude.
That's a good
I
Spurs fan.
mean,
That's a good
this
Spurs
is
fan.
not, it's so weird. For as much as we got whooped, I leave this being like, dude, the Spurs are incredible. They're going to win 5 titles in the next decade.
Spurs are just. I
I'm
mean,
almost like, it's almost kind of cool to be part of the beginning of something that's really going to be
right,
historic for the team.
right.
And what you liked about the Spurs this series, I don't want to talk about the Spurs too much because, they just whooped us. But I thought they only like talked trash and got on our faces and stuff when it was earned. You know what I mean?
When they
It's like I
after they
couldn't be
won.
mad about it. I
Yeah,
couldn't be mad about Castle and Wimby like doing their thing and talking their talk because
yeah,
they earned it. They're a good, great team. They're going to win a lot going forward.
yeah. I got
Uh,
mad at De'Aaron Fox. I'll be on Twitter. I don't really like De'Aaron Fox too much. I
oh,
think
see, I left that thinking we were both my girlfriend were like, God, Fox is kind of the man.
yeah, he's good at scoring. I don't like him. But we'll keep
The
moving on.
biggest
Also,
compliment I can give the Spurs fans is I thought I wish I could hate you guys more. The team, I mean. I wish I could
yeah,
hate the
I
team
wish I could
more,
hate
but
the
you
team
guys did
more.
not give us enough
Yeah,
reasons.
that's fair enough. And someone said glad to see City get some big time minutes from a Spurs fan. Thought he would be good for the Spurs before he dropped him. I'm glad City had his moment. I think for the season he's had, he deserved a 20-minute run like that, and that was awesome to see.
Yeah, and going back to the Justin's comment that you just brought up, I'm kind of mixed on that. Like on if going, hockey style substitutions and rotations with a deep bench was the best thing to do. Because I want to remind guys that we took a double digit lead in 2 of these games. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And we did that without the hockey style substitutions. And I'm just not totally convinced that the solution to stopping those runs was switching up what worked so well in that first half. Because what Thiago was doing with those rotations was good enough to get 17 and 19-point leads. And to that point, we saw tonight that it does work if you're trying to fight back and find some energy. However, like I've been saying all week, I think when two inexperienced teams are playing each other, as we saw tonight, it's almost an advantage to be down at times because it gives us something to adjust to. It's hard to be like, let's really switch something up that got us a 19 and 17-point lead. To
Yeah.
me, that more exemplifies that this team was really inexperienced and was lacking someone like Wimby more so than we were lacking in rotations. Though tonight I still think proved that we should have probably seen Veet more. We could have seen City at more times. We could have seen Matisse more. However, I don't think that was the reason or the difference that could have fixed those two heartbreaking losses. I thought it was something much bigger and meaning our inexperience, which is a good thing because I'm glad we kind of were able to see that, have that happen, and could deeper rotation styles in the second half of those games switch things, made things a little easier for us, sure, but I didn't think there was a difference between us winning and losing
Yeah.
because you said chaos and speed were our only chance. And this game it was. I completely agree with that. But in those 2 games, when you're up so much, with clearly what got us there worked, we just have to learn how to handle what we do once we're at that moment.
Yeah.
But still, very good point. Interesting.
I mean, the thing is,
Interesting
the
comment.
thing is that the Spurs' one weakness going into the playoffs, I think people said were like, can they shoot well enough and finish down the stretch, basically.
Sure.
And we saw in game 2 that they actually, at least without Wemby, couldn't finish down the stretch. That turned out to be true. They shot 40% or better from 3 in 4 of the 5 games. And the one game that we were able to beat him was the one without Wemby where they shot 27% from 3. Like, this Spurs team, when they can shoot like that, when you've got Castle who can shoot well, when you've got De'Aaron Fox who can shoot well, Champagny was 5 of 7 for 3. Like, Wemby was over 50% from 3 on a pretty limited amount of attempts. He shot the ball 7 times tonight. That's pretty demoralizing, I will say. When they can shoot like that with the defense that you see them have, there's just no stopping them. It's impossible. And we did ourselves no favors with our shooting percentages too. So it was just an uphill battle. But yeah, I mean, we have flaws, but we'll work on them.
Absolutely. Going back to PDX Born said we finally started pump faking Wimby off his feet. Too long to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Dude, I agree. Because I thought we kind of figured out, even though we got whooped, like something that might possibly work against Wemby defensively. And this is, he quickly figured it out too because he ended the game with, from my count, I think 50 blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like the thing against Wemby is that he's impossible to play against. However, there's small things you can do. Getting him off his feet, because no matter how tall you are, no matter how much size you can take up, it's using speed against those guys is the way to at least somewhat go against it.
Brad.
And I thought we realized that a little bit tonight. It's like get him a little bit off balance and go. We saw Denny have a much easier time getting at the hoop in the first half at least. Didn't see it as much in the second half when Wemby, recovered well from that and learned from that, and that's when we needed some shooting. But I thought we did as good as we could. They're just incredible.
Brad, Alex donated us $200.
Are you kidding me?
Alex.
Are you kidding?
You can't do that.
That is dude, I might get emotional.
I know.
I might get emotional.
I might put the bow on.
That's the most amazing thing I've seen in my entire life.
Alex,
oh my God, I might cry.
We see you watching. We can't. He said, "What a wild season! Had so much watching the team this year, and watching Blazers are cool. You guys are making excellent content. Probably my most watched channel so far this year. Keep it up, guys. Here's a little tip to keep upping the production value. See y'all in October."
Dude, the reason that means so much is obviously, the amount of money, that's unbelievable. But the fact that we've been able to create, or you guys have been able to create this cool little community with us, and the show that this means something to you guys. It is beyond what either of us ever expected. It means the world to both of us. It's one of my favorite things in my life going on right now. He's not just making this podcast, but in this show, but more than anything, getting to talk to you guys. Alex has been the man for as long as I can remember. That means so much because it feels like, it feels like our pals. You know what I mean? To be able to build something like this with you guys, and for you guys to show that it means something to you when it means so much to us. That's one of the more meaningful things I've seen in a while. That's really awesome. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you again, Alex. Thank all of you guys for watching and liking. I think that I'm very glad we started to go live for these playoffs, which again, just another great thing that the Blazers made the playoffs, because it really puts people are watching here and there during the regular season. No one can watch every game, but when the playoffs come around, we watch all the games together. I'm glad we did this live. I'm glad all of you guys have hopped in there and been with us every night and are supporting us. I mean, Brad and I really just wanted to come on and start just talking with each other, see each other more, talk more about the Blazers, put the videos out there, get our the thoughts we feel like people needed to hear, like DeAndre Ayton's gotta go, all those I'm speechless just because it's all we wanted to do was just talk and just see where this thing goes. And I think in one season, we've all just had a great ride following this Blazer team back into relevancy, and it's amazing. So thank you, Alex. We can't be grateful enough. Thank you for doing that.
Because you remember what our goal was with this?
It was can we
basically it'd be cool if we could get a few people who just watching every now and then. If we get 5 people who consistently watch, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys have blown away. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Blown away our expectations for what this could have been.
And I think again, it's just, I try to reflect it on yes, winning a title is everything, ring culture, no matter what, but don't let anyone tell you that watching a season of just outperforming expectations does not mean anything. Don't let anyone tell you a season is a waste. Clearly, if this chat is anything to prove that this season is not a waste, it is. This chat is the proof, right? So
well, it's what not just being a sports fan, more anything, being a Blazer fan is all about.
Yeah,
this is what it's all about. It's going through the tough times together, the good times together. It's what makes sports. And I've always thought that Blazer fans were. You go around the country, and they're a different and special breed of people.
Yeah.
It's as you feel, they feel like family. That's what makes the Blazers so special. Is it feels like home. It feels like your family, and you guys have shown that this entire year. How amazing you guys have all been. Yeah. So that's really incredible.
And I promise to the last point, we're this summer, big summer on upping production, big ideas, guests. Whether
We're
they're
thinking 3D. We're gonna make this podcast.
Everyone get your Oculus on, and you'll have us in your living room. We'll be talking right here next to you, and you can.
Exactly.
But seriously though, we're gonna try and step up in the off season and make good on your promise. So again, appreciate all you guys. Appreciate you, Alex. This is great.
We'll go back to some of the comments because if I talk more about this, I will cry. I'm an emotional man. You guys need to know that I'm an emotional man. I will end up crying.
Yeah.
Shout out to more of the Spurs fan, Michael Doomchild, who said, "Good game, Blazers. Cool checking out your guys' team and fans. You too, dude. That's awesome." HE Highlight said, "I blame Dundon this time."
Yeah.
I'm not, as I've talked about kind of last video and last stream, I'm not one to singularly blame one thing. I am more than happy to singularly blame Dundon for every single thing that happens until he proves that we should otherwise.
Even if Dundon came in and we immediately beat the Clippers twice and won the play-in and got into the playoffs, I am down for all of the bad stuff to be put onto Dundon because he's acting like he wants to be the lightning rod of crap, just take everything in order to win. So I think.
What'd you think of him letting this two-way guys come for one game?
Yeah, he caved. He's like, fine. I'll spend $150 on a hotel room in San Antonio for you guys.
Exactly, dude. It's such a weird, it's something that deserves no credit. Correcting a really stupid mistake. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. Not that I wish he would just commit to his beliefs and actually keep, but such okay, here, fine.
Yeah, fine.
It's give me a break, dude.
Yeah. PDX Boom tipped $5. PDX Boom been here.
Oh my god, thank you, dude. That's amazing.
Said, love you guys. I moved to Portland in 2020 during COVID. This season has turned me into a Blazer fan for life. Cheers to a great season. That's awesome to hear. I mean, I think that's what it'll do. Portland, if you step foot in Portland, you live there for 1 year. I know so many people who have moved to Portland their teens or after who are just immediately, they just feel that how much Portland cares about the Blazers because it's our only major sports franchise. We're a basketball city. I think it's pretty instantaneous. You feel like how much we just want the Blazers to be good. So I'm
absolutely
very glad to have
and it's so,
PDX
dude.
Boom.
There's this weird thing sometimes you hear in Portland isn't like people who have moved here. I think that's a weird stereotype.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite.
Totally.
If you want to come to my favorite city in the country and be a part of my favorite thing in the world, the Blazers, you are not just welcome. I want as many of you guys as possible. Keep coming. I love it.
Get in the chat. Get into Portland. Come on in.
Dude, I want to know what you think about this. Sitha said City and Rob starting might have changed the game. Because I'm kind of split on this. I want to know what you think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think City starting was really on the table, but more City minutes just for that energy. But
yeah.
Because Hyken was putting out there that Thiago was really playing with the idea of changing up the starting lineup, and he eventually didn't. And it
was his little secret the whole day. It was he's not telling us what he's I'm not telling you guys until game time.
Yeah.
What are you so secret about, Thiago?
I mean, and we kind of went over this. You got to still play Kling a bunch of minutes. And Rob is great on defense, but I also think we kind of needed the floor spacing. And while Kling didn't make a shot at all, actually Rob was a better 3-point shooter. Now that I say that, than Kling was by far and away a better 3-point shooter this series. I just don't think it would have changed much. Because I think their minutes are still going to be the same. It's not I think usually when someone gets inserted in the starting lineup, their minutes uptick tremendously. And we were already playing Rob as much as we could have. So I don't think it would have been a big change. But maybe just something for the vibes. Just more changes. At least act like we're trying a little bit more. That's why I think I could have seen it. Seen a starting lineup change. But I think putting City in to start this game, I think would have caused quite the uproar of an idea.
Here's what's tough, and we talked about this, is that when it came to changing the starting lineup, I'm glad we didn't for two reasons. One, because it feels like a really tough thing to do when we've had certain guys who started with game one to bench them with in the last game of the season.
Yeah, I
It
agree with
doesn't
that.
feel like something that's necessarily going to be a positive just because of what the hit that could take. And also because we've had good starts. You know what I mean? What I kind of wish looking back is not that we started Rob or City in the beginning of the game, at the starting lineup. I wish we started them in the second half or the
Yeah,
fourth quarter. I
sure,
think what's been the issue is that
sure.
because that's a very normal thing to do is to start your starters in the second half. However, clearly Donovan, like in game 3 and 4, was not the guy.
Right,
He was not
right.
playing well. I think we could have won both of those games if we didn't start him in the second half.
I think I agree
The
with that.
second half, I think, should be the best lineup that's played so far in that game. I know that's not what's normally done. That's when I think they should have started, is the second half, not the first half.
Right, because with those leads, you're like, and you know the punch is coming. Like everyone knew it was coming in game 4. It's like, okay, we need to prepare for this punch out of the gate and weather the storm. And I mean, Klingon lasted 2 minutes in that second half of game 4. So I think that's a great point. I think that's probably where they would have been more effective.
Yeah. And, PDX Born also said early on, he said, I still look at the season as a net positive and now some playoff experience and seeing what works and what doesn't work. I completely agree. This season was the best season we've had in half a decade.
Yeah,
I'm
not even
28
close.
now, so it's the best season since I was in college.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's been a while, and I know this hurts. It hurts to lose, but this season was not just the natural progression of what this team needs to get to, but it was almost like we cut a bit in line.
yeah,
The natural progression for this season was to make the play in and lose.
right. That
We
was an
made the
objectively good season if that happened.
Yes, and we made the playoffs and won a game,
Yeah,
and we're competitive and for the majority of the time. It's an absolutely W of a season, as HE Highlight said, W of a season.
yeah.
It's
Um,
it was.
Yeah, Blazers in 7, $5. Blazers in 7. Appreciate you coming here all the time. They said I'm from Texas and became a Blazer fan in 2012. Watched Dame hit the buzzer
Oh, thank you.
for the Rockets in Houston at B Dubs. Shout out Buffalo Wild
Wow,
Wings.
that's awesome.
Almost got jumped. I almost got jumped, but worth it. I'm glad
Dude,
you didn't
that's
get jumped.
amazing.
I'm
That's
glad you
so
didn't get
cool.
jumped. I'm glad you made yourself a Blazer fan out in Texas, or just being from Texas. More fun than rooting for the Mavs or the Rockets
Yeah.
or the Spurs. Who
Or
screwed
the
Spurs?
Spurs.
They got too many teams in Texas. You know what I mean?
I know.
Uh,
I know that's
thank you,
so cool to
Blazers
have
seven.
it being a state with that many teams and being like, you know what, the Blazers are
The
cool.
Blazers are cool. You could feel it from all the way from Texas.
Yes.
I appreciate
But
it.
yeah, thank you so much for that donation.
Yeah,
That's
God, you
so
guys are
cool.
awesome. What else we got? Sabir's in here. What up, Sabir? I'm so mad that the flagrant wasn't called on Wemby. He clipped Sissoko. Yeah, in the head. I love I love that City sort of seemed to find a way to actually dunk on Wemby. Like I don't know how many people have attempted to dunk on Wemby, but the pull down and I wonder a thought went through my head of like, do you think he's like because he played around Wemby, like he kind of knows something? But yeah, I was hoping that Shaedon would be the one to dunk on Wemby this series, but I will gladly take a City semi poster on Wemby. He took that shot to the head. I mean, it's technically a flagrant. I'm by definition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I'm so glad as a basketball fan they didn't call that as a flagrant.
Yeah,
Obviously, I wish they would have, so we got the extra free throws. But it was to me, it was like if they're calling that a flagrant,
yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah.
Because actually, what's funny is I had the volume low for that moment. And I was like, wait, what are they possibly looking at?
Right.
Like I couldn't figure out. I thought the Spurs had challenged it by saying it wasn't a foul. And I was like, oh, maybe they have a point. But I was like, oh wait, no, they're looking at
No,
flagrant. I
look
was
at
like,
that.
what?
Yeah, he
Um,
sideswiped him, but
yeah.
it's over.
Justin said off season without a lottery pick is so boring. I think that normally, yes, if you look at the last I don't know, decade of Blazer fandom, I would agree. And this is coming from someone I love the draft.
Brad loves the
The
draft.
draft is I love you do too. Like I
Oh, yeah.
love scouting guys. Like if I was at all capable, I would want to be an NBA scout. But
Yeah.
sadly I'm inept. But normally I might agree. This with Dundon, it's the only compliment you're going to hear me give him this entire year, maybe, is that He seems like someone who wants to make moves. I'm not convinced it's going to be an effective offseason, but I'm pretty convinced it's going to be exciting.
He's gonna try to do something of note. I think with the way this momentum.
Because maybe we don't do anything, but the chance that we do feels greater than ever.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Conrad said some great comments in here, and he's got this one. Conrad J. We had 94 field goal attempts, and the Spurs had 75. The problem, we shot 35% from the field, and Spurs shot 55%. I'll double check. 94 for us, 75 for them. Where are we? 35% from the field, 55% for them, 23% from 3 for us, 40% for 3 for them, 18 of 23 from the free throw line, 20 of 29 for the free throw line for them. So they even shoot from the free throw line well. They just nailed all their shots. They nailed a lot of middies. They nailed a lot of layups. They nailed a lot of threes. Did you think we played good defense tonight?
I actually thought we did fine. I thought there wasn't, of course there was moments and runs here and there that was like, but
yeah.
I thought we did a good job against Wemby for the most part. I thought they just made some tough shots. A lot of mid-range jumpers. Champagny was incredible. I thought we played a fine defensive game. Was it the greatest I've ever seen? No, but I didn't leave that game thinking, man, we blew down the defensive end, which is weird for how much they were scoring at the beginning of the game. But even Donovan said in that interview after the end of the first quarter, which, I think most people don't like those. I kind of like hearing what we're thinking in the middle of the game, personally. Yeah. I love hearing Tiago mic'd up. I liked hearing Donovan talk. And even he says, honestly, they made a lot of shots that we didn't really think they'd normally make. And I thought he was right, because I thought we mostly played good defense. The Spurs were just incredible. And Conrad had another comment earlier on where he said, we finally decided to play some players that could hit a three. And look at that. We started to close the lead slowly. This team literally needs to get some shooting, and Klingon needs to work on it all. What's so funny about that is, even though we didn't shoot the ball even the guys who can shoot threes, like when Veit came in, he didn't shoot it well tonight, but you did see. What's that?
They were guarding him like he could.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Which is what's annoying, because it's that's why we went on the run. Not even because we did start shooting better, but they also started guarding us as if we could shoot a little bit more. It opened up everything to allow us to get to the hoop and then create better 3-point opportunities. It's something I hope I'm frustrated with, because I thought the Veit effect was kind of apparent even though he didn't shoot that well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he still missed both of his shots. Real big bummer, him 0 for 2, just unfortunate. Matisse 0 for 5. I mean, you just go down the list. Drew 1 of 6. Denny 1 of 6. Tumani 1 of 7. A lot of Drews were very difficult. He had a 3 of 14 night overall. He took some difficult shots. Denny and Tumani, though, I thought had some pretty solid looks. Theirs just didn't go down. Again, Matisse's were wide open and wouldn't go. Yeah, it's just, if you're a team that takes 47 threes and you make just 11 of them, you can't beat anyone. It's incredibly impressive that we cut it to 9. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's all we wanted to really see was some fight, and we showed it.
Yeah.
Sabir said, I hate the series because the Spurs don't look amazing against us. It's just our offense is so anemic when the paint is shut down. I agree. This is with full credit to the Spurs. But I thought tonight was the first time they looked like a true contender. They look like a team that I don't think is going to win this year, but will probably win 5 in the next 10. I still think they're a small piece away.
I mean, I think they could win this year. I think the Thunder have the edge, but that's about to flip in just a year or two. I don't even think they're pieces away. I think their team is complete. Mox is back with 50 Philippine pesos. So thank you, Mox.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Next game, we will see Dame play. And that is the best sign I can think of. It is it's really good to see that Dame is coming back. Because, again, we talked about this last stream. But it's just exactly what we're missing. I think we're so inept at 3-point shooting that we need still some more. We need that guy like Champagny, like you saw tonight, who can just run off a screen and just get the shot up. We don't have that at all. Even if I'm calling Tumani a 3-point shooter, which he almost he essentially proved he wasn't this series. But even if I'm calling Tumani that's not how Tumani hits threes. These are very stationary catch shoot threes. We need someone. We need a movement shooter, and Veet can hopefully become a little bit more of that with some more work.
Isn't
How
that
old
what's
is
so frustrating? Is because I didn't see Champagny do anything that I thought Veet couldn't idealistically do.
just
Clearly, maybe not because we haven't seen it at all. But on paper, I'm like, dude, he's doing the stuff that I know Veet can do.
yeah
And also, shout out to Veet. We've been saying this the whole season. I'm impressed with how solid he is at just about everything else. It just sucks that when he's shooting so poorly because he looks like a slightly worse city.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like we've said, a city with a jumper is like a starter in this league, and that is on paper what Veet has been and should be. Um,
See
yeah,
Veets. Go ahead.
yeah. Blazers and Sevens right. That first half defense by the Spurs was awesome. Meek said Splitter played the same lineup that couldn't produce, same pick and roll / isolation plays. Nothing changed at all. Yeah, I hope that we are able to get a more creative offense this offseason. The thing is about Splitter is that, the offense we're running, it looks a lot like what Chauncey ran, which I think for the most part is because it probably is. Like, I don't think
He
Tiago
didn't
came
have.
in and thought, oh,
Yeah,
sorry?
I just say he didn't have time to
Exactly,
fix it.
yeah. So I don't think Tiago really got a chance to fully do what he wanted to do because with how he talks about what he wants to run, what you saw with him when he coached Paris, how um why can't I remember our assistant coach's name who was the worked for the Grizzlies? Saint,
Saint.
what Saint did in Memphis. It's like I'm just not convinced that this is what Tiago would idealistically want to run. I just think it's probably pretty difficult to have a new guy come in and immediately run something completely different. However, going into the season, we heard nonstop about how the offense was completely different. Jeremy
Yeah,
talked about that. He was
yeah,
excited to be a part of this offense.
yeah.
I didn't see that much different from last year, which was already kind of tough, which is a tough look for Thiago. But I'm also just holding out hope that this isn't what he idealistically would want to run. We'll see if he gets a job next year. I hope he does because the way he talks about what he wants to run is much better than what we've seen. And I blame
hmm
that on him just not having time to enact what he wants
Yeah,
to see.
yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think it'll be his off season. Didn't anticipate they'll move on from him, but who knows with Dundon, right? Um,
Dude, Spartacus the Gamer also asked, I want to ask you this.
yeah.
What was y'all biggest bum sauce? What I kind of expect.
Bum sauce. The
I like
BBS,
how
the
that's
biggest bum
phrased.
sauce.
Yeah. I kind of expected Grant to lay eggs, but Chumani missing everything was killing me. That's a good question. So you're just asking, like, what was to you kind of the biggest disappointment from this series?
Um,
Because there's a lot of them.
well,
We're not all
yeah.
sunshine and rainbows.
One, I have the one. Some other small ones were like the fall off of Scoot after he got a technical. That was really disappointing to see because I was hoping to see like true 5 game solid play from him, and he absolutely disappeared. We'll get to the shading conversation in a sec. I see Justin's got a good comment, and I'm wearing the shaded jersey because that might have been the last time we see him in a Blazer jersey, and we'll
Might
get to
be.
that. I think we'll get to that conversation. For me, the answer is Klingon. It just he looked slow, he looked out of place, he looked ineffective, and that's just kind of on defense. And the offense, there was we know there's no post game, and we know he's kind of limited to just 3 pointers, but those weren't dropping. He had like one good pass today. Like it was for Klingon to more or less get played off the court a lot in this series. I thought was really tough to see because he's such an important player to our team, and I don't think he was like, clearly he played 27 minutes still tonight. Like he's still out there doing stuff, taking up space, but it just felt like he's just big and he's flawed. And he's like the worst parts of Gobert really embodying that. And so he's got a longer way to go than I was hoping to see in the playoffs. I was hoping he could match the physicality and the intensity, but he did not.
I Klingon could easily be my pick too, but the reason I'm going to go with Chumani is because with DC, I saw a lot of things that he doesn't really normally do and things that I think he will easily improve on. Everything he struggled with, I thought was pretty tangible for this offseason for him to work on.
Yeah.
I saw this as a really good learning experience that he can build upon, and he's a madman. He is. That's why I loved him so much out of college, why I loved him so much at UConn, is I thought this is a guy who is just, if he says he's going to work on something, I kind of assume he's going to work on it.
Yeah.
If he says he's going to get better at this, I think he's probably going to. We saw with the 3-point shot. Like a lot of people doubted the 3-point shot. Did he hit it this series? No, but he showed this season more than enough to have confidence in his shot going forward. And that was something he was talking about when he got drafted. Everything I saw from Donovan, is he going to fix everything perfectly? I hope so. I think he has the highest chance of anyone on this team to do that. So I don't feel as down about that. I see it as purely as a learning experience, even though it was very disappointing. My problem with Tumani is I don't feel like the improvements he needs to make are quite as tangible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, because it's more like all the stuff that we know he struggles with was magnified.
Right.
Because I always was concerned about Tumani as a shooter in the playoffs. Because as we've talked about, Tumani's, at least statistically, was harder this season compared to last season with Anthony gone, who really did, because of his gravity, create a lot of shots, easy shots for Tumani. Last year, Tumani, I think, had the second best easiest shot selection in the league. This year, it was like 20th or something like that. He was in like the 90th percentile last year, 99th percentile. When the playoffs come and there's no longer those easy shots being created, and hopefully, that can come by having more offensive firepower, more shooting that will create more shots for him. Actually, not really, because I mean, Denny's crashing everyone. Like, they can crash and know we're not going to get a lot of shooters. But I have a much harder time seeing Tumani drastically improve at the things he clearly needs to improve on.
Right.
Because not only was the shot not hitting because of the tougher defense and the less great shots that you see in the regular season, but as basically every other type of offensive player, it was non-existent. His playmaking's not there. I can't really think of something I can point to offensively that I thought that's special. And what we've seen in the playoffs is, dude, you got to be a two-way guy. You got to be able to contribute on both ends of the floor if you want to see more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He looked, I mean, defensively, I actually thought he was pretty consistently good.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had any show-stopping games. I mean, I can't point to any game where I was like, Tumani's defense that game was impeccable.
I thought that the fourth quarter of game 2, I thought he put it all together and had a really great performance down the stretch on both sides. Because he hit a couple
You're right.
He hit a couple threes, and he was really big on slowing down Fox down the stretch when we needed to. So he had I would say he had one quarter that stuck out in my mind, and he had one block that I remember in like game 4, and that's kind of the only thing I remember him doing.
And obviously it's unfair to compare anyone to Wemby because he's a once in a forever type of player. But when you watch guys who are even, I'm going to say this for Castle too, you see guys who are, I might even say it for Carter Bryant. You see guys who make humongous impacts defensively. And at least for me, despite again, I thought Tumani was like an 8 out of 10 defensively. But when you see guys like Castle, Bryant, Wemby, you're kind of reminded about what true defensive impact looks like. And of course, it's easier for them because we have less shot creators and less shooters, so their defensive impact is going to look greater because of our lack of effect offensively based on our roster construction. But it's hard to be like Tumani was great defensively when we're playing against 3 guys, and he was good, or Clingan was good defensively when you're playing against 3 guys who were kind of so much better.
Yeah,
which is tough. Because I want Tumani to be a huge part of this team. I still think he absolutely will and can.
Yeah.
But the improvements he needs to make to be a 40-minute per game playoff guy seem much farther away than it does for someone like Clingan.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was tough to see from Tumani. He's so vital to this team. Do you want to, while we're kind of on negatives, do you want to have the Shaedon conversation? Because Justin goes, even though his highlights are the sickest, I'm honestly no longer tantalized by Shaedon's upside. He's got no tenacity, and it's like he's walking on ice. He slips so often. Time to move on. I mean, like, what do you? Well, I think those of you who've been listening to us for a while know like kind of where we stand on Shaedon, so I don't think there's anything groundbreaking when we bring it up. But I see a lot of people online that are like, you know, Shaedon getting 6 minutes has to be more than just defense. Like, there's something else here, or it's like, Thiago needs to be fired. Like, he can't just be doing this because of one side of the ball, whatever. Like, it really just kind of is that. I don't think there's anything else to boil it down to. I wonder if to you is the offense also a problem, or is it like it's just the defense is outweighing the offense too much?
I think the lack of Shaedon is it's so funny how different corners of the internet are because you go in the right or not the right, you go in specific places. Everyone's like, Shaedon was terrible this series, and I've lost a lot of hope in him. And you go on Twitter, and it's all these people talking about how it was the worst coaching decision they've ever seen from
Yeah.
Thiago not playing Shaedon. I want to hear from people who are kind of on that side because I would have liked to have seen him a little bit more.
Yeah.
However, all the reasons I want Shaedon to have played more are theoretical.
Yeah.
It was nothing based upon what we saw on the court when he actually played. It's all theoretical for what I hope could happen. I hope he could be a great off the dribble scorer that we desperately need because we're not getting many open looks, so you need a tough shot maker. We didn't see that. I hope we can see a guy who can use his athleticism and create havoc in the passing lanes based off his length and his speed. We did not see that. I would have liked to see a second ball handler, a guy who, or third, I guess, a guy who outside of Denny, Drew, and I guess Scoot to an extent, though he wasn't really used much as that, which is a little bit disappointing for me. A guy who can handle the ball and create for others. Shaedon was not that. Everything that the main reason and again, I would have liked to see Shaedon a little bit more, especially tonight. I didn't think he really did much tonight to warrant um, him only playing 6 minutes, but we're down 20.
Yeah.
They're scoring out of their mind. I can't believe that the answer to that, to getting more stops, which is what we needed. We needed stops and we needed 3-point shooting. Those are the two things that Shaedon struggles the most with. The three he made today was awesome.
Yeah.
He didn't play enough to really make a huge negative impact defensively, but he didn't do I'd have to rewatch. I didn't remember seeing anything good from that. I thought last game against we played 13 minutes even though had 8 points, was the worst defensive performance I maybe have ever seen from him, despite I thought him mostly putting in effort. I
Yeah.
get wanting to see Shaedon more because you want it's the hope.
Yeah.
It's the hope that he could do something. But he played for how many minutes did he play? He
Played
played
6 tonight.
this whole series. I mean, he played
Oh, yeah.
19, 33. He played 46 minutes.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 46. What's 46 plus 22? 68 minutes. He played 68 minutes this series. I didn't think in those 68 minutes he showed anything on the floor to be like, we need him in for this second half to have to make this comeback. Because the guys that we did put in did make a comeback. It worked. Did we win? No. Did we cut it to 9? Yeah. Is that the best we could ask for? Probably. So it sucks, and I understand tying a lot of hope to a guy because it's easy to be like the guy who we didn't see could have been great because we didn't see him. But what we did see, I don't think warranted much reason to play him more.
Yeah.
Much more.
He had scoring punches, and the advanced numbers, like his plus minus agreed with him. So I think those are two big arguments, and I think that's why he deserved. I said it in Game 4. I thought he deserved more time than Jeremy.
Sure.
But it goes because of some things that happened in Jeremy's poor play. But it goes back to something we said a couple streams ago, which was that like the odds that Jeremy is going to be a more productive playoff player than Shaedon are just always going to be higher right now, and you just kind of got to lean on that. To me, it's just what I saw was like tonight he hits a 3, hits a mid-range jumper, a timely one, gets 5 points. and then he goes down on the other end of the floor and he gets hunted, and then when he gets back on a switch, he jumps for the his closeouts are cartoonish. The way he leaps out at them and just hangs in the air, and the player just goes right by him. And it's just at best a trade-off, like a 50-50 trade-off for him hitting a bucket and then doing that. And at worst, Shaedon's just an inefficient scorer overall, and you can't fully trust him to be in there to light it up. Or also to, I think a lot of people are like, there's no offense. Thiago doesn't have any offense. This is so slow in the half court. It's like, Shaedon's not the one. Shaedon's the one who can go get you a tough shot. I agree with that. Like, hit a tough bucket with a defender on him. He's not the one who's going to go in there and make it look like we're generating offense and moving the ball and doing things.
You see Dom Tundon?
Is that a name in here?
He's never making towels again. That's so good.
That's great.
Dude, I can't believe how many funny people we've had in this. You guys are hilarious. I laugh out loud like 10 times per stream.
Asher came and said $200. God damn, I can't top that.
That's so good. I know, dude. That's a tough one to try to do better than to try to do better than. That was amazing. That's so funny. Going back to an earlier comment, Blazers in 7 said, and dude, I think this is like a worst case scenario in my head, unless things really go poorly this offseason. He goes, I'm calling it now. We will be the 5th seed next year playing the Wolves. Dude, you cannot. I've said this on this show, but also after we recorded, I think after the second game, I told Jethro, I was like, tell me what teams you can 100% guarantee are going to be better than us in the West next year. And this is with adding Dame alone, I think, but also probably making one more move that will hopefully improve the team. Mm-hmm. You can't always guarantee that. Yeah. But in a realistic world, I think, actually, you go. What are the teams that you can absolutely guarantee will be better than the Blazers next season?
Yeah. I mean, look at the West. Make sure we're looking good here. That doesn't look good. Look at the West.
And I'm not guaranteeing this,
I know.
But what
so Thunder and Spurs for sure. The Nuggets are one loss away from some real reshuffling. The Lakers have Luka. The Rockets are getting Fred VanVleet back. The Timberwolves just lost DiVincenzo for all of next year. Suns, Clippers, Warriors are a problem. And then you've got the tanking teams. The Jazz, of which I think are good. For sure better than us, the Thunder and the Spurs. I would be hard-pressed to think that we can be better than the Lakers or the Nuggets. So I think I like Blazers in 7 with the 5 seed is where I would put us. For sure better, I guess you can't tell me. Maybe wait till after whenever the Nuggets play again and talk to me after whether they win or lose this series. Then I can give you a better answer. But I'll probably go 3 teams better. I think the Nuggets will still be better than us next year.
Well, I said this before the season ended. And I'll ask this again. How many games do you think we lost to injury this year? 4?
4, yeah. 4 or 5.
How many games is a really good Damian Lillard worth? I'd say probably 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
That's a 50-win team immediately.
Yeah.
And that is without the expected improvements of Donovan Clingan, Tumani, Scoot, Shaedon, hopefully. And I still think Denny is far from a finished product.
Yeah.
That with the Nuggets having a very good chance of completely retooling, and I don't think they have the ability or the roster to make a really big move. The Lakers, I'm assuming LeBron is leaving. This team without LeBron, with LeBron, was a 53-win team. I don't see what they're going to add much that's going to be, I'm sure they'll add pieces that's going to be better than LeBron. So at 53 wins, I'd say they're at 49 next season. The Rockets are going through
The
turmoil right now.
Rockets are going to get rid of KD. They're going to cave in. That might make them better, though.
The Wolves are not getting younger at all. And the Suns, I'm not sure what immediately huge improvements they can make.
Yeah.
We are in a position at 42 wins to improve more than any of those teams. Could we easily not be better than the Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets, Wolves? Sure.
Yeah.
But is it a guarantee that we're not going to be better? Not at all. This season, going into the season, I thought at best, I think we're a 7th seed. I said at absolute best, which actually we ended up being.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I thought at best we could be a 7th seed. At best next season, if things work out great and those other teams have a very realistic kind of fall.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, you know what? Shout out to the Jazz.
The
who
Jazz,
easily
I think,
could be really good
leap.
next year. However, just expecting a team to improve by 28 wins.
Yeah.
They'll probably be that level in 2 years.
Yeah.
But next season, I think
here's what I'll say is that I think we have such a good chance of going up. Like, we finished as a 7th seed, but we really had the record of an 8th seed. So there's a lot of wins to scoop up. I think some other teams are obviously going to have some struggles. Some of the ones at the top of the West, not the Spurs and the Thunder. So it's about making some moves for us. I think for me, it's maybe more of a down the line issue of like, are we going to? Here's the thing: we're gonna either cash in on those picks now, which is probably what Tom Dundon will do because he's impatient and likes to win, and that's probably when we'll see us be like, all right, we're gonna go into this upper echelon. So I think you're right. I think we have the moves we do have coming are going to vault us into that, and we're gonna go for the more window of winning now. I just worry that, like, especially with what we did with the Hansen pick, like the real young talent that we have, especially if we're like potentially moving off of Shaedon, like we're starting to carve out our future from the bottom in order to win more now. And I think we're going to do more of that with those Bucks picks. But I feel great about next season. I don't think anyone's denying that, right?
You know, people are laughing a little bit, and I understand at what we said about the Jazz. The Jazz could be awesome next season. Walker Kessler at center, Jaren Jackson. I feel like people forgot some of the moves they made.
Well,
Jaren Jackson Jr. at power forward.
Because they purposely sat everyone and made you forget about them so they could tank.
But Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, and they could easily get the first pick. They're going to get most likely a top 4 pick if they add DeBonce at point guard or at forward or Darren Bailey Peterson too. At point guard.
Yeah,
anyone. That's like a really tall and talented team, and I still like Ace Bailey. I know a lot of people are kind of. I don't know how you feel about Ace.
Ace Bailey came around towards the end of the year for sure. Yeah,
I was always kind of I feel like if there's a guy who's 6'9", 6'10" who can shoot, I'm always going to be mostly on those guys. To be good players.
I just think about that Jazz team. Like Lauri Markkanen could shoot the absolute crap out of the ball, dude. I want someone like that so bad. Trey Murphy, I guess. Trey Murphy's not even that good of a shooter, though. We're the best shooters in the league. Read some more comments. I'm gonna go.
Do you think City will have a bigger role next year? Because Justin Film said that he hopes City earns a big role next year. I hope so too. He is one of the top 10 if he could shoot guys in the league.
Yeah.
Because he's maybe the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA in the last 40 games. 14% shooting since the All-Star break from 3.
I don't think I hope he earns it for sure. I don't know. I don't know if I think he will. He had a pretty big role this season. He started 20 games. Like, if City does earn a bigger role, it'll either be he'll have the most incredible offseason ever, or some other guys will have really taken a fall or gotten hurt again. So he had a great role this season. I mean, Brad knows. I think you guys know. I love City. Like, I was early on City. I was like, this guy has some talent. He's got some passing chops. He's a great defender. Just the energy. I mean, you saw it tonight. I love having City around because I think you can use him on a night like tonight to just kind of kickstart a team that's slow. And I just hope that he can find just a little bit more of an offensive game so he can be around for that a little bit more often. That's what I think his role is here. Dude, I'm looking at the
Meek was talking about, and I think it's a good question to ask because he's talking about how he feels bad about Tumani's contract right now. How do you feel about Shaedon Tumani's contracts? I still would say we forget sometimes that 4 years, 82 million still feels like an insane amount,
yeah.
but it's kind of not in the modern NBA.
No, I think it's fine. I remember being very happy about Shaedon's contract that we paid him that little when we got it. And Tumani was second team all defense. We basically could have waited on him this year and now maybe paid him a little less than that. But you kind of had to reward the guy for being such a great defender and player and give him what was a two-way max. Like, we gave him basically as much money as anyone gives a two-way player. So, sorry, not a two-way player, but a second-round player from the draft. So, yeah, I thought they were both fine. And they're tradable. They're not going to, mess up your books. Would I love to pay them less? The Tom Dundon in me says yes, but I think they both earned those contracts. The Dom Tundon would say yes.
Yes. Talking more about how he played tonight, Soul Clap said, and I agree with this. I'm still surprised we didn't see this a lot, but I got flack for saying put JG on the block. We didn't even try to. It was all perimeter play, dribbling into defense. Dude, the dribbling into defense was frustrating. And it's funny because we complained for years about how we're tired of seeing these mid-post JG post-up and face-ups. If there's a time to do that, it's the playoffs. It's kind of frustrating that we saw him do that for years in situations we didn't need him to do it, and now in a situation where I thought it could have been really used, we didn't see it. Because instead of that, we saw guys just running into the defense nonstop, which is frustrating.
Yeah. Ugh. Blazers.
And yeah, Justin said this going back to the other games. It just seemed like we played scared when we got up. I completely agree. There's nothing you can do about that except, get those guys through that experience. Because I'm going to say this a million times. This is the first time all year we've been healthy. We sadly had to wait until the playoffs to get healthy. And I think that really, really showed both in Thiago's coaching, the rotational decisions he had to make, because at this point we still don't know what the best rotations are because we haven't seen them because guys haven't been healthy, to how we played together on the court. These guys were still building chemistry because it's the playoffs and they haven't really played together. So yeah, it's tough. We were put in a tough position, but I thought we did about as well as we could, hopefully.
Yeah. That's another thing why I think Thiago is good to keep around, and you got to just keep the good times going. It's just it feels like there is so much talent on this team. It just needs to be unlocked with confidence and roles and just playing around each other, playing together. Because Denny and Klingon and 2 played a lot together, but Scoot and Shaedon and Jeremy and Drew were all in and out of that. And Dame's gonna take some time to work in, but you saw it with a guy like Scoot, man. He just needs to have that confidence, know his role. You saw it drastically, when he had it at one point, he's a great player. When he lost it, he's not. So I think just what Thiago seems to be really good at is creating a cohesive team, a family. And I think if you give him one off season to not only continue that, but to then sit down and bring in some high level assistants or work with Saint and be okay, we're gonna run some high level stuff. I think that's the move. You bring in another guy and you jeopardize the team, the bond aspect of it. You need both.
Absolutely. No, Orsham said this. Games 1 through 3 felt like it was possible. Games 4 and 5 look like two different teams or two teams from different leagues. I know, I agree. After that, starting with the second half of game 4, you saw who the Spurs were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why it sucks that we didn't, especially game 3. I'd almost say game 3 is a bigger missed opportunity than game 4 because Wemby wasn't playing. Game 4, you kind of they got Wemby. They're the team that should be doing this.
Yeah, there's a reason that games 2 and 3 looked different than 4 and 5, and his name is Victor Wembanyama. So it's almost do you think that we need to build a team that is able to beat the Spurs in the playoffs? Because I kind of think that that's what you have to do. Like, I think a team that is designed to beat the Spurs could probably beat any other team. And at this point, you need to make a team that is specifically designed to handle the beast that is Wemby. It's weird because like I would say that the Spurs were a really bad matchup for us. Like we like to attack the paint and with basically just Denny, and they can just completely smother that and force you to shoot threes, and we're by far the worst playoff 3-point shooting team. But it's not like any team was really a good matchup for us with how we play, right? We kind of just like to play hard, and we're long, and we shoot a lot of threes, and sometimes we make them.
It's I think every single NBA team in the playoffs still they need to do everything they can to beat the Spurs this season, because this is the only season I think any team has a good chance against this team. They are the best team I've ever seen that are so far away from being a finished product. Even Wemby offensively feels like he is far from being a finished product. Defensively, he's going to be this good probably forever. But I can't believe how good the Spurs team is, despite Dylan Harper's not there yet, Castle's not there yet, Wemby's not there yet. They could easily win the title this year, and I still think they're far away from their best basketball. So the rest of the league should, based on this series, be like, we got to get these. This is our one chance to win, because it's going to be our last chance for a decade.
Yeah. Michael Doomchild, it's getting late here in Texas, Blazer fans. Y'all take care. See y'all next season. GG's. Thanks for hanging, Michael Doom. Appreciate you. Dom Dundon said, buy more beanies and I'll pay them. Talking to the players.
Dude, Greg Mock is funny. So the season was real and fun, but not real fun. It's so weird. For as amazing on paper of a season this was, there's a lot of moments of frustrations.
Yeah, there were some lows.
Yeah.
This season for sure. I think we'll do. You and I are thinking of doing a season recap. We'll look at our predictions from before the season, do a video on that, and break those down. I think we'll draft some of the best games from the season, kind of recap the season in that way. Maybe we could do the worst games from the season too, just a little mini one to show people to reflect. Dude, I keep looking at I'm looking at the best 3-point shooters in the league. First of all,
yeah,
how many? And chat, answer this as well while I say it. How many players in the NBA you think shot over 40% from 3 this season?
I remember it being higher than I would think it would be.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, because it's like, you see the Blazers' best 3-point shooters were Veit at 39%, which, we got him, and that didn't become true. And then Jeremy
20% is a Blazer, I think.
Yeah, I think it was about 30.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy at 38.9, which even Jeremy's 39% felt like it took a lot to get there. So how many do you think?
I remember thinking like 17 sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 30. 30 players.
Dude.
So it's like one player that every team in the league should have one 40% 3-point shooter. And you see how far away basically we are from that. I mean, our third best shooter was Drew at 37.8%. But like the Lakers have 2 in the top 5. The Knicks have 2 right there. Cavs have a couple. Like we got to get a couple of those guys. I think we could buy low again on Cam Johnson. He shot 43% this year.
I actually would be fine with getting Cam Johnson still too. I know he was kind of disappointing for the Nuggets, but I think that'd be an interesting guy to look at. Justin asked this way earlier. Are we going to go live during the regular season? I think the answer to that is yes.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun doing this. I like doing this so much more in the regular videos. So yeah, I think so.
We'll mix it in for sure. I don't know if we'll be in every game go live stream, but we'll definitely some of the bigger ones. I can definitely promise you right now that we'll be doing this more. This was incredibly fun. So you guys better come back. That's really the thing. If we do this again and there's like one guy and it's just Dom Tundon, I don't know if we'll...
Yeah, I think we'd still be okay with that. We'd still be happy.
Let's kick it. How can we make this team better? HD
Yeah.
highlight. You go. You go.
Sorry, keep going. No, you
Oh,
go. You got it.
you got.
You
I
got
was
it.
say HD highlight says. I know it's less Blazer related, but I'm curious your guys' thoughts on the new anti-tank policy. I don't know how much you saw of this today.
I don't like it personally. I think there's not going to be a good anti-tanking policy until winning gets rewarded more so than tanking gets punished.
Yeah, I think that's what this is trying to do.
I might need to look at it again. I looked at it twice today. It's the bottom 8 teams now have the same chance at the number 1 pick, correct?
Yeah, or maybe the bottom 10, and then the next 8. I think it's the bottom 10
Yeah.
have an 8% chance, and the next 8 have like a 2% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think it's gonna totally fuck some teams over. Like, I think if you're,
Yeah.
I think if you are an inept team who's not really very good at drafting, like say you're the Kings and you bottom out, you're stuck in the league, you're trying to win, but you can't, and then you get that one shot at a draft pick, like you get a high pick and you miss on it, it's like you're kind of screwed for forever. So like I think it'll create more of a lengthy imbalance, which I don't think the league has really fully projected when they're thinking about this, that some franchises that are already pretty down in the dumps and have been for years are going to not only are going to be down in the dumps and not feel like they have any hope, and that's when you're really going to lose those fans. So as it relates to the Blazers, I'm first of all glad that we seem like we are, you know, like Cronin and Dundon are smart enough to keep us at least in the middle, because I think what this does is really help the middle teams.
It
Like,
does.
like it really helps a team like the Blazers, who right now like seem like we may have overextended, and we don't have those like Wemby SGA type players to get us to the top. But what it means is that if we fall back just a little bit, we can sneak into the number 1 pick now. So I think the fact that we have gone over the hump, we are now over the middle of the league. I think this reform ultimately will help us, so long as we don't completely blow it and fall back to the bottom. But I don't feel like we will.
Yeah, I worry that it kind of encourages mediocrity instead of encouraging like horrible, disgusting basketball.
Yeah.
Because it's tough because, increasing it to 16 teams for the lottery is not really encouraging winning. And punishing the bottom 3 teams are penalized with fewer lottery balls. I think that's something that sounds good, but then when you really think about it, it's like, okay, so the worst teams get a worse chance. Like, I get that in some ways incentivizes not finishing last,
Yeah.
but I'm not really convinced incentivizing finishing 26th instead of 27th is like really makes that much sense. But I'll say this too. I've yet to see an anti-tanking idea I like.
Yeah. There's not a lot.
You know
of
what I
good
mean?
There's not a lot of good ones.
It sort of feels like the only thing that, if you're purely looking at ending tanking, but would cause a lot of negatives in every other place, is by just giving all 30 teams the same odds.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would fix tanking. However, that would bring a lot of other issues. It would probably create more issues than it would solve. So it's a really tough situation to be in. I don't love it, but I've never loved any of the ideas. So hopefully these guys know better than me and it goes well.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's interesting, but again, I think it helps. I think it helps the middle of the pack a lot more. I think, like you said, like it supports mediocrity, and
Which is better, I guess, than supporting losing 70 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So we'll see. Hopefully, it just helps the Blazers.
Yeah, Greg said this earlier, and I really appreciate this. These Blazers need a non-panic attack podcast. You guys do a good job breaking down topics. I appreciate that because I get a little bit tired of the overreactions at times. I get that's part of being a fan. I'm okay with reacting strongly if it warrants it. I'm not about being like even tempered all the time. We have our freakouts and our extreme excitements and extreme disappointments, but I like to think we do it in more appropriate times and just immediately like being overly pessimistic or even I'd rather be annoyingly optimistic than annoyingly
Yeah,
pessimistic.
definitely. I mean, I think that the play of the Blazers drastically changes my mood. I mean, this tonight was no better example of that than tonight. Like, I was like, oh god, like season of failure, series of failure, when we were down 30 again in the first half, and then we cut it to 9. I'm like, this team rocks. This
I know,
team is
dude.
City's the man. I love City. Like, I'm down to let the Blazers affect my mood, but like when the good happens, like I want to be equally, if not more, happy. Like, so that's kind of how I felt. I was like, when we cut it to 9, I was like, we are so back. Fuck
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox. I hate the Spurs. Like, I was like ready to talk shit, and then they ran away, and I was like, all right, whatever. But
Yeah, nothing affects my mood like the Blazers, but I try my best to be realistic and think good, even though they make
realistic.
it. Yeah. Slow Clap brought this up that the guy who needed this game more than anyone is Tiago.
Yeah.
And that's true. This feels sadly like the kind of loss that could not get Tiago a new contract. And I don't think that personally, but if I'm in the mind of Dom Tundon, this feels like something that he's dumb enough to base the entire decision upon.
Yeah.
Do you agree
Yeah.
with that? Do you think this is a game that he could look at and be like, okay, that's it. No more Tiago.
I think he could. I think he might. I don't think he should. Like, I
Be
think.
agreed, but I think it increases the
Yeah,
odds that
I
he's
think.
like,
I think
okay,
there's a.
failure.
Yeah, yeah. I think Dom Tundon has it within him to do that and to justify when he doesn't bring Thiago back and say like, the Spurs are you saw the top of the league is the Spurs. Those guys know how to win. I want to be like them, and Thiago showed that he can't beat them. That's why he's gone. And we'd be like, all right, give me a break. They have Wembanyama. We have not Benyama. So what are we supposed to do? But I could see that being said in a press conference, truly.
For sure. And yeah, the one of the Spurs fans was saying, uh, dude, ESPN has been clowning on your guys' owner. It's like, dude, so are we.
Yeah.
Trust me. And it's cool that maybe some Spurs fans aren't like. I'm sure a lot of people aren't really aware of this. Like, but PDX Bourne put it best. He said he brought it on himself. Timing is everything. He came in like a bull in a china shop. That is absolutely spot on. And
The
PDX
team.
Bourne is he's speaking my
My
truth
truth.
that this whole season was a pre-rehearsal for Dame. Every game I was looking at how this team would fit around Dame. I could not agree more. That's what this whole season was. It was about making sure we have a team that is ready for when Dame comes back. But it also brings up the other question is that if that's if that is what we're playing for and rehearsing for and preparing for, that means we have like a 2-year window. You know what
I
I mean?
know that's
I think
that's the
Dame's going to be
thing.
good. I don't think Dame's going to be great for more than 2 seasons.
That's why I'm like, you know, I get that we have the Milwaukee picks and things that we can do to improve this team right now. But I think also that, like, we're a Damian Lillard away from being really good. It's really hard to say we're a Damian Lillard away from outpacing the Spurs and the Thunder with all the assets that
Sure.
they have. So, like, I want to compete. I want the guys on this roster to get a lot better. I think Damian Lillard solves a ton of our flaws to help them do that. But I don't know if, and we'll have this conversation a ton over the offseason of like what we should do, what we should give up, what's worth it. There's obviously a price for everything, right? Like if you give me, if Jokic is on the table because the Nuggets bottom out, we can get him for 3 future first. I'll obviously do anything like that. But I think, and Joe Cronin says this a lot, like building a consistent winner is key, and I think I'm in that boat as well. Like I want us to compete and have good chances, and maybe like some injury luck turns our way, and that's how we get a deep run these next couple of years. But I don't think I want to sacrifice our future to try and beat these two teams that are clearing away. We need them to mess some stuff up first to pave the way in a couple of years. Right now, they're just too much of juggernauts. So I think Dame is a reasonable and tangible, like, this team gets much better because we have him. And then we got to hope, those other guys step along the way. And then if they do, and a trade deadline comes around, maybe we can do that in season or something. But for this
Let me ask you this. If Dame did play the series, what do you think the series ends with? Ends at.
Like a prime, like a Dame we're optimistically expecting to come back next year.
Yes. I think we lose in 7.
I think I would say that. Yeah. It's like if Wemby gets hurt. Yeah. I think we would lose in 7. I think game 1 we could have pulled out with Dame playing. This game, maybe. I think we win game 4 because I don't think that huge run happens like that with Dame on the court. We definitely win game 3 without Wemby out there. So yeah, I'll go them in 7. So again, you're seeing like it's like the Spurs' first playoff run. We can't even sit here and confidently say that if Dame was around, we would win this series, let alone make a run to the playoffs.
They're the second best team in the West.
They're the second best team in the West.
And that could easily be a second round matchup next season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we're currently a game away from being in a 7-game series against the second best team in the West, that to me puts us between 3rd and 5th in the West. And that's before improvements that we're hopefully going to see from a lot of the guys on the team, especially Klingon's the guy who I'll ask you this actually. I think the answer is Klingon. But who's the person on this team that you expect to make the biggest jump going into next season?
I'll probably say Scoot.
Nice, I like that.
I think
I can see that. My worry is the minutes that he might not be able to get next season.
I think he'll get those minutes because when is Drew Holiday gonna finish a season out? You know what I mean? Like Drew.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Drew really gonna like finish out a full season? Is a 36, 37-year-old Dame, coming off an Achilles tear, gonna finish a whole season? Are we gonna open up minutes for him with the trade for Shaedon? Like, I think Scoot. I'm not really too worried about the minutes he'll get the opportunity of. The reason I say Scoot is I think, again, with him, it's such a confidence thing, and I think he rode such a high for 3 games that he came ultimately crashing down in the final 2. And I think you'll find that somewhere in between those 2 outcomes, Scoot will settle into after getting a truly full season of him ready for NBA basketball under his belt. This season was an absolute mental roller coaster for him. And we saw flashes of his talent and his shooting ability. I think when he can incorporate his passing as well, that we know is great, but I don't think he was used like that. Maybe that's something that is unfortunate with so many other passers on this team that's going to get shrouded. But I think a full season of Scoot's going to look really good. I have some faith now.
I still think this series was a huge success for Scoot.
Totally. Had to be.
If for a guy who is, how many games did he end up playing this season? 30?
Yeah, I can look it up.
For a guy who played 30 games this season, who missed basically an entire year, who's 22, who's in his first playoff series, it is unfair to expect him to not have 2 off games. Was the last one, or honestly this one too, were they pretty off when it comes to off games? Yes.
Night and day.
But those first 3 were... He easily played more good basketball than bad basketball. And more than anything, what you want to see from young guys is what the potential peak looks like. And what we saw in the series is that we saw it for 3 games. If it was 1 game, I'd be like, eh. But I wanted to see a majority good games from our young guys for the series. And the only one that we saw a majority of good games from was Scoot. It's expected for a guy against the best defense in the NBA to kind of get locked up once they've adjusted to him when you're 22 and you miss a year and you only played 30 games this season. But what we saw was the potential and peak of Scoot, and it looked awesome. For it to come for 3 games in the biggest part of the season, despite still not being, fully ready given the games that you've missed, I still think this was a humongous success for Scoot and made him someone who went from someone we could easily put in a trade package is someone you'd really have to think about it. Yeah. I don't think he's no trade no matter what.
Right.
After game 2, I think we both were like, we can't trade him.
Yeah.
It's like, which is, just shows that we all overreact. But it would be it'd be the one, if we were to get rid of him, it'd be the one I'd be like, ah,
Yeah.
about.
No,
Like,
I
that's
totally
rough.
agree. Alex
Klingen,
is hopping
though,
off. Alex is hopping off. Said, "Have a good night, boys." Alex, we appreciate you again for
you're the
always
man, the
watching, always
greatest.
commenting, always chatting, and for that dono. You're the best.
You're
You're the
awesome.
man. Everyone in here's the man. Guy
Yeah.
or girl.
Alex has a bit of a lead on everyone right now with that donation, though.
just a
No,
smidge.
you guys are all great. Looking back at something again, I'm doing the same thing I always do, where I'm really
Brett, just know that if you're
far back in the comments.
if you comment and you think we've forgotten about it, don't worry. Brad has got them all, and he's just making sure to making his way through slowly.
Yeah, and Thrandy said hopefully this postseason gives the players chip on their shoulders that carries through the offseason and into next season. It's one of the reasons building teams on having competitive and good personality guys is so important, because the only guy on this team that I can be like, I'm not sure if he's really going to improve over the offseason because of their attitude is Shea.
Yeah.
Klingen, I'm not guaranteeing he's going to get better,
Klingen's
but
gonna
he's going to try.
Yeah, Klingen will not.
Same thing can be said for two,
Yeah.
Denny, Scoot, and even if they make small
Denny.
improvements.
Yeah, Denny's gonna work so hard after the way this series he went. He's going to. Klingen's not gonna take this lightly. Timoni's just a dog, so he'll be just fine. And Scoot's grinder, so yeah. But yeah, I think I agree with the point. Shaedon's the one who might get a little.
Clap asked the most important question when it comes to Shea. Does Sharpe get stronger the older he gets? I pray to the gods he does, because I've said this before. I think his effort is his lack of effort has always been kind of a little overstated. It's obvious, it's an issue, and always has been, but it's not the only problem. It's one of them. One of the other ones, I've said this 1,000 times, so I hate to repeat myself too much, but it's such a good question from Soul Clap. Him getting stronger is, to me, more important than him being, carrying more, being more competitive. But also, in order to get stronger, which is kind of it's going to go against my own point. You got to be competitive and care a lot to put on a lot of muscle, to work out, to really make sure you build upon your body. Because we know Shea's got the skill, but to me, does he have the physicality and the strength to not get worn out over games, to be able to compete defensively, to be able to muscle his way through good spots? Because he's got the jump and the skill of like a young Anthony Edwards, but he doesn't have the strength and the size. And that's what we'll get to see from him. But if not, like if we go into next season, we still have on this team and he looks exactly the same, I'm going to be really, really disappointed.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. I don't know if we will see Shaedon in a Blazer uniform again. And I just think that we've talked about this, there's something you got to give up in a trade that is worth it for the other side. And I feel like we're sitting at you saw how much Tiago played Shaedon this game. I think if Tiago is still around as a coach, he's got some things he's thinking about Shaedon and some things he feels. And Dom Tundon does not take lightly someone who doesn't work. What's the quote? Your job is to make it so that no one is better than you. My job is to embarrass you and be a cheap shrill. Is that the quote?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Isn't it funny? Oh, that's so funny. So the quote exactly was like, what is it? What's the actual quote again?
My job is to find the best person out there. Your job is to make sure that person doesn't exist. I think that's what it is.
Do you think he realizes that the quote that makes the most sense for is himself? It's a bummer that there's no one who can do that to him.
Yeah.
Because who's underperforming the most in the Blazers organization right now?
Yeah,
it's Tom Dundon.
The guy creating a PR nightmare.
Exactly. So as a God, I wish he should look in the mirror and say that, because there's a lot of other people I think could do a better job than Dundon has done so far. I want to go back to another comment, the Blazers in 7, because I relate to this. I've been a Blazer fan since I was 2 years old, but he said, and I love this. He said, became a Blazer fan because of 2K13, actually. My player got drafted to the Blazers. I never watched NBA till then. Blazers had me in a chokehold since. Dude, I remember those old My Player games, modes in 2K13. You didn't get to choose what team you were on. You would interview with teams and you'd try out for them. Whoever you played best for, whoever you interviewed best with, you could not guarantee you were going to go to the team you wanted.
Yeah.
And I would just pray I would get put on the Blazers. And 2K13, is my favorite sports video game of all time. I think this is fun. I know it's off topic from the Blazers. I have on my Xbox 360, which I still have, I have a save file of an association mode in that game that is on year like 30. I
Yeah,
do like 14 game season or 30 game seasons, and I've played like 30. I still will hop on. I play the new 2Ks, as you know. I'm the 47th ranked my team salary cap player in the world. Not to
Brad's a big
brag,
fan of
which
that.
is
Yeah.
biggest proof of it's like the most like you guys want to hear me brag about being a loser you'll ever hear. Um, but there's a 2K13 Blazers Association mode that still gets gameplay that I'm in like the year 2050 on. There's
Yep.
no more real NBA players in it. It's all like 2K creative players have been drafted. So I love to see a shout out to 2K13. That's my favorite game
That
ever.
was actually the one I didn't play much. I have not played much 2K in my life, but 2K12 and 2K13 were when I peaked. Um,
So good.
the 2K12 my player I think I played a lot of.
Sabir, I felt like the Spurs were better than us. We shot so terribly. I know what he means by that, but it's something where it's like if we shoot terribly, it's because they're better than us. You know what I mean? But it does feel frustrating watching this team because the Spurs. I'm sorry, I'm gonna Sabir, I love you. I'm gonna disagree with that. Spurs are a lot better than us, but the way that they're better than us, and I think this is where his frustration is coming from, feels so tangible.
Right. Yeah.
Outside of having Wimby, Wimby's the most attainable way to improve that we have. We will never, ever, ever, ever get Wimby. But the other things are like, oh, we're so close.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of at the bottom. I like how we cover our bases where you stay at the top and I get the
It's good
response.
because then people who are currently commenting and get some
Yeah,
stuff, people
we share it around.
who are waiting will get some
Yeah,
stuff too.
Jonas Gonsalves says, if only we had Cedric Coward, I feel like we were so close. Could have drastically changed the outlook on this team and its personnel, even given what happened this season. And I think it's...
This is where you and I kind of disagree, or at least used to. I want to know if your thoughts have changed on this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Cedric Coward on this team right now, like, would have done a lot for this series. I don't think... I think we were deep enough and strong enough that, like, we had guys we needed to give minutes to anyways. Maybe he could have proved something, and we'll never really know because he just wasn't in the playoffs this year. I think you saw, like, Carter Bryant was also in the range of there. Like, you saw Carter Bryant did some awesome stuff this series. He also wasn't played a ton, and maybe he would have played more on our team because the Spurs team is just so deep. I don't think we were one guy away from, like, drastically improving on this series, but where your point, Jonas, is that I do agree with is that, like, you have to be continually getting your draft picks right and getting your moves right. Like, with how far ahead the Spurs and Thunder are and how much they have in their, how many picks they have, how many young guys they have, like, we couldn't really afford to take a young Hudson swing in a draft that was a guarantee hit on the first 14 picks. That is the Cedric Howard point. Totally feel you. I think it's going to hurt even more as we progress into this journey, we'll call it, moving forward.
I think it was just a colossal mistake.
I
I do. And at the end of the season, I've been trying to hold back a little bit on that take. Because again, I've said this all season. Us drafting Hansen was both unfair to us and unfair to him.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of a situation that makes less sense than drafting a talented but slow 7'1" center. Cedric was, he finished the season, I think, shooting 34% from three, if I remember correctly. I actually just pulled his stats up. 33.8, yeah. That's, despite being that not being super high, he's a guy who had the rookie thing where he got really hot, he got really cold. But he had multiple games of incredible shooting. His last game of the season, he put up 27 points against the Nuggets in 22 minutes. Shot 3-7 from three. He's not the difference in winning the series, but I think if we had Cedric Howard, we get one more win out of the series. I think we're going back to Portland for game 6. I really do believe that. He's a good offensive player, something we desperately needed. He's a two-way guy. He's a guy who could easily get minutes in the playoffs. We saw Carter Bryant get minutes, and he's not a great offensive player. Yeah. Cedric Howard's a good defensive player, a good offensive player. He could have easily gotten, I think, 15 to 20 minutes, maybe more per game. And
Yeah.
it long term, when I watched him play this
Long
year,
term it hurts.
he could easily have been that one piece away that we are. He could have
Yeah.
easily been that guy where it's like
I
Dame
just
and him going forward. That is our starting two of the future. And the fact that we missed out on that is a little
yeah.
heartbreaking.
I think it's like the star potential, like the star potential. I don't know if it's still really there with him. He's a little on the older side and whatnot. Maybe I could be wrong. He could break out and be like a true like 23, 24 point per game scorer one day. That'd be incredible. But yeah, it's just more like you see with the Spurs. It's just like you need two-way. He just fits the bill of a modern day successful NBA player so well. You need two-way guys.
The guy who's good at offense and defense.
Yeah, like it's you need.
And you're right. You're 100% right.
You need
But it's like, I say that sarcastic because of how obvious it was looking back on it that we should have kept him. But sorry, I interrupted. Keep going.
No, it's just, and I don't know, man. It's like the other thing I have the problem with is like you were so sure of Young Hansen that you couldn't trade back even further. Like I hate being the theoretical. I also don't like going back to the theoretical. Like we could have had the Pelicans pick as well and blah blah blah. Like you don't really know what was on the table. I guess it was reported. But yeah, like they should have taken it. Obviously. Like you should have traded back even further and taken those gambles even if it meant Hansen was gone because are you really betting our entire future on that's just the problem is that the stakes of the stakes that are at play because we're so far back from those other teams. Like, you can't just waste a draft pick like that on something as theoretical as Hansen. And I really like some of the things Hansen does. I think he's fun at whatever. It's just like you said, we're not the right time. We're not the right team for him.
Exactly. And John Doe said this that Wemby only attempted 7 shots. Isn't it incredible how he can only take 7 shots and clearly be the best player on the court?
Yeah.
It's more proof of just what an incredible defensive impact and honestly just in general on both ends impact he has without even needing to shoot the ball. That's why I said Wemby I don't even think is a finished product yet because you watch him, he could easily be a 30. We saw it in game 1, be a 30-point per game scorer.
Yeah.
In the NBA. And he could be a 30-point per game scorer who's the best defender we've ever seen. That's GOAT potential, dude.
He's right there.
Randy said, I think it's going to be the most exciting offseason in years. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So much stuff that we can do. We have underratedly have so many good assets to trade. Because even though the Hansen trade stunk, we got a pick from, I always forget, Memphis, Milwaukee? Orlando? I don't know. I always think it's an M. Oh, it's an M team, the Magic. Yes.
Magic, yeah. I was about ready to call that trade like a sneaky, resounding win because it seemed like the Magic were about to collapse, and then
now they might win the title.
Now they're gonna make the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're gonna be just fine. So that's kind of a bummer as well.
PDX Boom asked. Sorry, go.
I was gonna say we just eclipsed 2 hours. Got probably a handful more minutes here, and then
I was gonna say I could keep going.
Keep going. We'll go for a little bit longer. But
PDX Boom asked a good question. Which player on the team would you guys be saddest to see traded? What do you think?
Saddest?
Yeah. It's a good question.
It might be Scoop for me, dude, just because I don't want to give up on him. Just with the roller coaster he's had and the way we kind of pegged him as our savior, in that 2023 draft. So I think saddest, not what I would think is the dumbest, but saddest I think would be Scoot.
It's weird for Shea and Scoot. Shea, was this Shane's 4th year? It's his 4th year, correct?
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Is Shea the only guy on the team that was also here when Dame was here last?
Yes.
Must be.
Jeremy.
And
Yeah,
Jeremy too.
Jeremy.
But 4 years of Shea, to me, I feel like I have some answers.
Yeah.
Scoot, I don't feel like I have answers on yet.
No, 3 years of Scoot.
I said this before the season. We know nothing. And we said this before the season. We're like, we hope to have answers on Shea at the end of this year. I think we do. No guarantees, but at least you have enough that you can base a decision off of. Scoot does not feel like that yet. I that's one of the reasons it would be tough to trade him. A year from now, would I be okay trading him? Yeah, because I think we'd have answers. But right now, we don't have answers yet. So that would be, I agree, that'd be the saddest person that I would have to see go. Especially because when he's on, he's probably my favorite player to watch on this team.
Yeah, right. Those first 3 games, man, so fun to see him light it up. He just needs confidence. He's an enigma. He just
Well, dude, it's amazing to see someone who loves playing.
loves
It's
it.
like the antithesis of Shea, where it's
Yeah.
and Hyken said this that if you put Scoot's mindset or Scoot's brain in Shaden's head,
Body.
Scoot's brain in Shaden's head, yes,
Yeah.
and his skull, doesn't matter. He's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And it's why it's so easy to root for him, why it's so fun to watch him play, because he's old school, dude. You're watching a guy who this means everything to them. It's why it's so fun to see him play well. It's why it's so heartbreaking to see him go invisible in the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
I hope he leaves this playoffs thinking that was a success for him individually, that he can build off of this, because he has so much he showed that he can build off of.
Yeah.
You got a cheeky grin. What do you got?
I got 2 good ones. I got Nick Reichen said Coward isn't selling jerseys in China or getting panned in the Rose Garden, and that is something we didn't really think about.
That's 100% true, and that's what Tim, when I talked about the owners talking about the new owners talking about Hansen, how I thought it was like low key sort of disrespectful how they talked about him so positively from like a business standpoint.
They're like, well, we got Hansen, and that's obviously incredible. Have you not seen how many people like him? It's like, okay, well,
Exactly, which is cool,
boiling,
but it's
yeah,
and I'm sure to Dundon that's everything,
right.
but it's
And then I got PDX Boom says, what draft pick this season would you trade Shea for?
What a question.
This season?
The better question is, what do you think other teams would trade their draft pick for? I mean, is Shea worth a lottery pick from teams? Here's something I want to say to Blazer fans who are really pro Shea. Look at what non-Blazer fans think of him. He was just on the national stage for 5 games. People are not positive outside of Portland about Shaedon Sharpe. They think that he was
the
clone on defense.
The video of him missing the assignment and putting his hands up, I was like 20,000
exactly
views on Twitter. Like, everyone saw that.
And you see the general reaction. And obviously we know better because we've seen him play his entire career. I'm not doubting that. But it is kind of interesting to see what other people's thoughts are when they don't have that bias that we have of just loving a guy who's, we drafted, who's been a part of our team. And non-Blazer fans, no one's more positive about Shea than Blazer fans. And that kind of, to me, says something. Would you trade Shea? It's such a tough question. Would you? I wouldn't. I still wouldn't trade him for like the 10th pick. I would not do that.
Oh, I would. In this draft?
You would?
In this draft, I would, yeah.
I don't like this draft as much as other people do. I think this is a great draft because of the top 4. I think everything outside of that, there's guys I like, but most of them are scoring combo guards. And I don't want that. We kind of we've already done that. I'm surprised how much people like this draft, given how, Acuff, Phillips, who else am I thinking of? Brown, like a lot of combo guards. It's like that's not really what the NBA has shown to value that much.
Sure.
They value guys like DeBonsa. They value guys like Boozer and Peterson and Wilson.
You know what's funny is, like, I sit here and I'm like I could probably trade Shea for the Axel Lendenborg, I guess, but Axel Lendenborg is like a year and a half older than Shaedon. Like,
older, and there's no way he's better.
I mean,
Yaxel's different because he's improved at such a dramatic pace over his college career, but I still, just because I think Shea's value, I know this is kind of cheating the question a little bit. I think Shea's value is more in a trade for another player more so than a trade for a draft pick.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would. I think it would have to be like in this draft. If you were to ask me in like general, would I trade Shea for like the 7th pick? I think I would. 10th pick, no. I would say the 7th pick in general. In this draft, I still don't think there's anyone outside the top 4 that's worth giving up Shaedon for,
That's
knowing
fair.
that we could
You said
probably
you said
include
it
him
should
in a
take.
trade for a player.
Yeah, I think I would go 10. I don't think I would go much higher. I think you could. I mean, if it's a bite of the apple at the lottery, that's a whole different thing. But the 10th pick itself, I think that's. I think I would do.
Speaking of Scoot and Shea, Nick said that Scoot and Shea, two of the biggest franchise investments last 4 years, got a combined 21 minutes. It's really disappointing to see. I don't know if this is how he meant it, and that's okay, however he meant it. I see it as like it's a bummer because they didn't play well enough to get those minutes. I think a lot of people though are
Yeah.
going to see that and be like, it's a
No,
bummer that we didn't give him the opportunity.
no. Yeah,
But I think Scoot is proof that like you get the opportunity if you earned it, which he did. And then he didn't play well, and he kind of lost it, and that's okay.
yeah. I mean, you saw the flip side with Scoot, where it was like he played really well, and then he basically just barked at Dylan Harper and then lost it. But it's so weird with
I
him
still
'cause
like the bark. I still like the dog coming out.
I wouldn't have him take it back. It just is a bummer that it worked out so poorly. Yeah, I feel better about Scoot, especially with his 2A talent, dude. Like his defense was really on fire as well for those last handful of games of the regular season and during this playoffs. So I feel better about him. I think it's a more glaring issue with Shaedon, as we've sort of outlined. But it is tough. It is tough that our young core really didn't rise to the task when the Spurs young core seemed to just absolutely flourish in every way possible. I mean, Castle and Harper and Wembanyama are the same drafts.
I know that's what's tough is when you see other young guys doing better than ours.
But that's why I think the Spurs, because they got really lucky. They hit on these guys, or they got really high draft picks. They got studs. Everyone knows it. There's something going on with that team on top of just how on paper talented they are, where they are just so clearly ready for the moment in a way that is just sort of unheard of. Like Chet and J-Dub for the Thunder last year were there, but like SGA was SGA had been in the league for a while. He'd been through some playoff series to guide them, and they had some other vets. This team is an enigma of how like prepped and ready to go they are at such a young age. I think it's what you saw with the Blazers was more indicative of what a true first round playoff series is supposed to look like for a team. What you saw with the Spurs was like, this is a well ahead of schedule masterpiece of a team that is like coming under Wemby's huge wings and just like oozing with confidence. Like that's what's probably scarier than anything is like they're not only good and going to be good later, they're good now.
Completely agree. Blazers in 7, as we're talking about young guys improving, he had a great comment earlier. He's like, things I want to see our players work on. I love this comment. Denny needs to work on ball handling to avoid turnovers. 2 needs to work on his shot. Scoot, learn to drive more. Shea, work on everything because he could be a 3-level scorer. I agree just about everything. Starting with the Denny one, I think the most important thing for Denny, as we've said, is just better roster construction so he doesn't get crowded as much. I think that and working on his ball handling for sure. But if he's able just to play with a little bit more space, anytime Denny actually just had a shot on one guy that wasn't Wemby because he's massive, Denny like bulldozed them and powered through them. He did a great job. Like he kind of like wrecked Castle anytime they really went at it. Castle played great defense at times, but he had a lot. He really gave Castle some work.
He was shoulder checking him. He was like
Yep.
ready to fight. I feel very good about Denny, just in general. And I think this series, this run to the playoffs, like that Suns game was the coup de grace. But yeah, I feel great about Denny and where he's at. I think he's really shown he's like a top 20 guy for sure next season, All NBA guy next season. And the other thing is like, I don't think Denny like needs a 3-point shot. I don't think he needs a mid-range jumper. But if he gets that can really unlock. Like if he starts hitting the 3 next year, he'll be like a 28, 29 point per game guy because of the way he can get to the free throw line.
I still think Denny's so far from a finished product. Like I've said before, there's so much he could work on individually in his game that's super tangible that he's shown a lot of already. And there's no one on the team that will benefit from a better roster construction than him.
Yeah.
I have no doubt he can be, and also just from being healthier. We kind of that's been something that's been overlooked. Him before his back injury was what was he averaging, like 26, 6 and 7?
Yeah, I think he climbed just up to 26 for stretching. Yeah,
You cannot tell me that he's with a better roster while being healthy, while working on some stuff. He could be a 28 point per game guy next year. I'd be more surprised if it didn't happen than if it did happen.
yeah,
I still think it's what makes him so special. But yeah, 2 will work on his shot. Agreed with that, as well as basically everything on offense. Scoot learned to drive more. Really agree with that. Underratedly, and this is why I think this is even more of an impressive series from Scoot, is I don't think anyone was more negatively impacted by Wimby than Scoot. And he still had a really, really good series. The fact that he was able to have those 3 games and, 2.5 of them were against Wimby, or I guess 1.5 were against Wimby, that's impressive, dude.
yeah.
And we can't expect him to have to be incredible against Wimby right off the bat. I know he was when he was on the G League Ignite for that one incredible game, but dude, hey, Scoot did as good as he could against a guy like Wimby because he wasn't really able to drive and he still found a way to make an awesome impact. And I still agree that Shea could be a 3-level scorer, but we got to see that soon because the hope for it is dripping out. And I hope it comes from adding more strength this season.
Brad, a Hawks fan came in here. He said, Blazers suck as a Hawks fan. You guys ain't doing nothing. You Blazer bums. What has Blazers won? 0 rings, huh? But I don't think he realizes like how much everyone in this chat is rooting for CJ McCollum and the Hawks to perform.
That is the most random comment I've seen in my. Imagine you lose against the Knicks. And he's like, you know who I need to go to?
I gotta go
a
to the Blazers.
Team that we're not playing against that are huge fans of our current second best player. That is nuts. You know the 50 Cent like. Why do you say fuck me for?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
That is us. That is how I feel where I say,
right
what do we have to do with this?
No.
What are we talking about? Go CJ. Love
Yeah.
CJ. I don't know what that guy's talking about. That's hilarious. And also, again, we're not in here talking about how we're the greatest team of all time. We're bummed that we just lost. You're not really going to get that much fight. We're just kind of going to laugh at you if you say stuff like that. And dude, Nick said this too earlier, how much he hates the modern 3-point volume. I agree, dude. We see in the playoffs, the NBA's at its best when there's slightly less threes. And there's been more talk, and I like the 3-point shot. I really do. I just don't like the current volume of it. I really like the 3. I've said this. I don't want to see the 3 go away. It just needs to be 2013 era ball was the best, where there was a perfect balance of realizing how important the 3-point shot was without it being absolutely everything. It's why the playoffs are so much better because there is a little bit less threes being taken. And I like that the conversation's become bigger recently with that Steve Kerr interview that came out where he said, like, I'd kind of like to see no 3-pointer because I think it would make basketball more creative. Popovich is always would say the same thing. I don't agree with that. But Phil Jackson, I don't know if you saw this, responded to that tweet and was like, I recommended the NBA, or I've suggested every single year to the rules committee to expand the court so that the corner 3 is the same length as everything else.
Yeah.
And I was like, Phil Jackson,
talk to me, baby.
I want the corner 3 gone. But I think easily a second best option is just make it the same length as everything else. Yeah. That is, oh my gosh, such an easy fix to this current 3-point, I'm going to say, problem. There's too many threes right now. There's not way too many, but there's too many. And I don't like it either. And I'm so glad to see Phil Jackson and Steve Kerr at least getting the conversation going.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple more in me, and then I got to call it for the night. This again has been incredible run of streams we've had, an incredible stream. All of you guys who are still in here chatting, thank you for hanging out. I mean, we will do this more over the off season. I'm thinking big events like draft. It's a bummer that we're not in the draft, but free agency, trade deadline, whenever that comes over the summer. We'll be here, and hopefully you guys join. But we'll get some more comments before we get out of here.
Yeah, we're talking about Shea. Because we were saying, was like, is his defense really that bad? Only played 6 minutes. Agree, but as we always say, when it comes to the playoffs, you also have to play guys that you, not just who are playing well, but the guys who you can have most confidence will play well going forward in a game. And was Shea like horrible tonight defensively in 6 minutes? No, he didn't really do enough to be horrible. But from what we saw in this series, like there's not a guy that you can count on less, even if he hadn't showed like horrible defensive performance so far in this game. But you can't count on him to play well defensively going forward in the series.
Yeah. I would just love like a candid answer from Tiago, like why didn't you play him? I would pay some good money for like 5 minutes of Tiago's time just to talk about anything really this series, but particularly I think I would start with asking about Shaedon and just why.
Mox said, sorry, you have something.
Jeff said, Wizards fan checking in, fuck the Zers, bums.
Exactly. It's like, what the hell? That's just so everyone knows, that's my brother. He's making fun of that Hawks fan. That's so funny. That's so good. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, what? What do we have to do with the Hawks? Mox said this, it's a bum to see Klingon and Duran, his two centers in both conferences, doing poorly. Yeah, the Duran not playing well makes you feel a little better about Klingon. That, bigs underratedly have a hard time adjusting to the playoffs too. So hopefully that's the only reason we saw Klingon play poorly.
Murad said, at the end of the day, what this season showed is we need complementary players to Denny's unique super skill of getting to the paint. Shea just does not fit, sadly. And I think I agree. I think we just need shooting is what complements Denny, like severely. And it's just also in general what we're lacking. And it is a bummer that like we were screaming about shooting before this season, and then we didn't really do much to it. And then we got Veet, who again is basically a no risk candidate, but I see laughing.
Sorry, it's just this Hawks guy is still going. It's so weird, dude. It's so random. We have nothing to do with the Hawks, dude. We love CJ. This is so funny.
Yeah.
I can't imagine spending my night being like, I need to go talk shit to a fan base that has nothing to do with anything. Oh, that's so funny.
I still hope
I said, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to you, but you're just gonna get laughed at here. You might need to find a different thread.
Yeah. Poor Hawks.
Oh man. Blazers and Seven said this earlier. If Klingon only got beat by Wimby, that'd be one thing. Also seeing be beat by Cornette was tough. And that's kind of been the story of Klingon's season, if we're being honest. Like, there's been a lot, like Mark Williams, he got wrecked by at certain points in the season. Maxime Renaud was his
his thorn in his
kryptonite
side.
All season. What's up?
The thorn in his side is what I said. I think it's just like I think to a degree too, to give Klingon some credit, is that he was not utilized great. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, what do you mean by that? It's like, I don't know if I really know, but I really want Klingon to slim down, lose weight, and become more mobile, because I think that'll help him more than being bigger and stronger. And I think that's where he can, because it's like remember that one possession tonight where Fox it was in the fourth quarter. Fox got him away from the key, and for the first time I was like, Klingon, go try to stop the mid range, and he did, and then Fox just went right by him and hit a floater. I was like, oh, that's why he stays in the paint, but he just needs to be more able to guard the perimeter and the paint at the same time, and whether the perimeter is like actually the 3-point line or just like the top of the key, whatever it is, but he's got to just be more quicker on his feet, man.
100%. And like I said this last, I think I said this last video, that I don't know if Klingon needs to get stronger or leaner.
Yeah.
I really don't. You could go either way, where it's like, oh, he needs to get stronger so he can like kind of bully people more.
But I don't think that's it. I think he's already.
Or he needs to get leaner so he can be more mobile.
I think
you could go either way, and he'll know best. The training team will go best. I'm excited because I was surprised going into the season that he got bigger and stronger. He says like, oh, I actually put on weight. That was my goal.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's going to go back on that and try to lean down a bit, or if he's going to be like, it could be both. He could get leaner and also just get stronger. Yeah. That's also possible.
Hopefully both would be great. But
am I boring you?
No, I'm just tired. All right. Well, I think my yawn might have done it. I think I'm
sure
close to the end here, but yeah. I mean, what a season.
You see the Hawks fan being like, "You guys haven't won, and we've won a ring more recently than them."
Billups is coming back for you. Enjoy being 12th seed next season. Then he got roasted by Stephon Castle as well. Yeah, Chauncey. He said the same thing. Chauncey's coming back.
He's either a troll or kind of stupid. And either way, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Atlanta Hawks OG. He's OG though. You can't deny that.
OG Hawks. Good for him.
All right. This is awesome. This is awesome. 5 streams. I'm glad we won 1 game, so we got 1 more stream. I'm glad we got to do this again. We'll do more live streams. We'll come with you guys with videos. A lot of wrap up the season videos soon. I think we'll take the weekend off, digest the season, and we'll get back to you next week with some content. But
big shout out really quick to our international viewers. Like I want to make sure that Levy from Brazil is getting the shout out he needed. I'm sorry he couldn't get to some of the questions. Actually, I think we kind of did. We kind of talked. We said, what are you guys expecting for next season? But he said, cheers for Brazil. I'm a huge fan of y'all. You're awesome. I mean, from anywhere, everywhere, people are watching. It means a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the Blazers are a very international fan base. So whether you're rooting from in Portland or you're rooting from outside, welcome. Like we said earlier, welcome to we're welcome to all Blazer fans, far and away, whether you move to Portland, whether you're not. I mean, this is awesome, man. This is an awesome season, awesome series. The Blazers are cool. What more can you say?
Blazers are cool. I miss Doo-Wop, by the way. One last shout out to a comment that I just saw. Justin said earlier, Doo-Wop, I miss Doo-Wop. Me too. Yeah. Doo-Wop is cool. Blazers are cool. You guys are cool.
You guys are the coolest.
Thanks for an awesome season.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we move into the offseason. And we'll all go through it together. Just prep for next year. Dame's back. The Blazers are cool. Scoot was awesome. Denny's awesome. I mean,
he highlights it. If you're watching from Atlanta, it means a lot. Yeah, more than anything, shout out to our Atlanta viewers. They're my favorite.
Our Atlanta viewers, we could not do this without you.
Jeff said, it being 2:37 in Atlanta makes it even funnier. This guy's up at the wee hours of the night talking shit. That's so funny.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, all of you guys. We appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on the next video or the next stream. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Go Blazers.